V.V. Mani. She's associate professor in the Department of ECE, IIT Warangal. And as you know, earlier 2 to 3 lectures already said by Dr. Mani ma'am. And I'm here to give some introduction to LabVIEW and how we are going to be develop general prototype programming for this either in RF systems or visible light communication systems or mmWave systems or massive MIMO systems. So I should clear one thing. Is it visible to you? Okay. Sometimes I'm going to be check whether you are following that, so don't mind that. All right. So what is actually LabVIEW? Now, before going to discuss about what we are going to be do in a LabVIEW, and first of all, I should know how many of you are well known about the LabVIEW, and have you earlier used it or not? I don't know, but from basic, I'm assuming that you are at a basic level. So now I'm trying to make sure that you people should be able to design a general communication system. Once if you are able to design the communication system, then you can upgrade those systems to either massive or mmWave and etc. whatever it may be. So first of all, my intention is here to clear cut the LabVIEW introduction and how you are going to be develop the entire system by using additive white Gaussian noise channel. So I will see these because LabVIEW, it is not the small thing to learn in a 1.5 hour, so that I can cover what is some minimum requirement for a communication student or communication researcher, so that then we can design. It's like a lab, you can call it some MATLAB. So we have so many functions in a scripture way, but whereas comes to the LabVIEW, there is a difference, like it's everything, it is in the predefined user interface, graphical user interface it is. So see, what is actually meaning of this LabVIEW? LabVIEW means it is a laboratory virtual instrument engineering workbench. So here from those all words they are taken, it is LabVIEW. It is a graphical symbols representation rather than the textual language, because I already said about the MATLAB. So MATLAB, we are going to be write the complete coding section. For example, if you implement the factorial and you are going to be write the some function, and that function you are going to be called for the n number of times to find the factorial of some particular number. So here we are not going to be do that. It's already inbuilt function is there. So that inbuilt function we are calling, and that is in the form of graphical interface. That means you can see the graphical symbol. Where it comes to the MATLAB or some other languages, C, CPP, and Oracle, etc. So you will see it is in a textual language. It is. So that is the main difference for this LabVIEW and remaining programs. Now see how it works. So in one statement, we can say LabVIEW is nothing but it is a virtual instrumentation. So virtual instrumentation, for example, to calculate, in general, in regular way, engineering students, I used some calculators, the scientific calculators. So if I taken some normal calculators, what are the operations we can see? We can see the simply it is one is addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division. So this is actual meaning of that entire. Those are the regular things we are going to be do on that particular instrument. Whereas to make sure the actual functioning of that particular instrument, we can design the code here. That means it gives the coding section what we are going to be developed. So this coding section will give the appearance, so virtual appearance of that particular instrument. So that's why we are calling it as virtual instruments. So even though there is no instrument, then the code will make sure you that you can feel that there is an instrument. So that is the main objective of this LabVIEW. So, okay, right? Next one. See, in your LabVIEW, once if you open the LabVIEW window, you will find to create some VIs. So you will find these two windows. So this is the first one, and you can call it as a front panel, and this one is a block diagram, or you can call it as a coding section. So in this coding section, you can see these all are the wire lines, and these are some functional blocks. Now comes to here, some indicators and some controls. Indicator means in general it is an output. You can take it as a output. Controllers means it is a some input. You can see this one here. Indicator means you can call it as a this one. This is also indicator, and this is also indicator. Now here it is, we are controlling this level by taking pulling up this node port to the up and down, so that the input is going to be varies. So from this section, so we will see later one by one. But coming to the just for panel wise, to clear the panel structures here. So one is front panel. See, when you are seeing the instrument, we will find, for example, if I consider as a communication student, and generally we used to CROs, cathode ray oscilloscope. So in that one, we will find some display, that is photon display, photon elevated display, and some functions like controllers, and for the channel one, so and so. So that is for the front panel for the front panel of that particular instrument for the CRO. So that thing will fulfill by the, so that front view can be fulfilled by the this front panel. And what is the internal functional structure? So what is the function of that particular channel or controllers or whatever it may be inside in the that particular instrument CRO? Then that thing completely take care of by the this block diagram. So that means by combining these two, one is front panel and block diagram, we can say it is a virtual instrument. So these are the main things while you are going to be develop the program. So you can face these two windows only. So once you are come up with these two windows, now what are the internal functions or graphical symbols are there? We will see it later one by one. So as I said clearly, and you will find in front panel block diagram, and one is controllers and second one is indicators. Okay, the same thing here, it is controllers and indicators. So yeah, the same thing, it is front panel. In front panel you can use, this is one type of display. So this is a wave display. So wave display is a one type of indicator, not the control. So controller means you are controlling, you can call it as an input. So by controlling the inputs, then you can see the output, its corresponding output in the indicator. So indicator will give the output. So that is the thing you should remember. See how the block diagram will see look like in general. So this is the in general way of writing the coding section. Where it comes to the MATLAB, so to do the division portion, so you used to write slash, right? Write slash. So that is the textual language. When coming to this LabVIEW, you are taking it as a blocks. That means block symbols. So this is a symbol divided by symbol. Yeah, this is the divided by symbol. So by using this kind of blocks, you can do the that division operation here. Okay, so that is the one thing. Now, so you should get one doubt here. We already have some front panel and which is showing there. So then why we need that coding section? So that coding section and front panel both are equal actually. So both are equal. The content is here to visualize. We are using it as a front panel. To code the system, we are using it as a block diagram. You can call it as a block diagram or coding section also. Actually, the name itself, it is a coding, block diagram, but we can call it as a coding section also. Yeah, right. Look at here. One more thing here. I want to clear itself here. If you, the moment when you are putting some controller or indicator on the block diagram, the simultaneously when you are putting this particular digital controller here, so its corresponding functional will be appears in the block diagram also. Even if you are putting the block, if you are putting some symbols or symbol blocks or in block diagram, the simultaneously, the moment you are placing this digital controller here itself, obviously, and then the same, its corresponding either controller or display or indicator will appear in the block diagram also, sorry, you can call print panel also. That is the main thing you should remember it. Right. See, what is the main difference between the controller and indicator? So the moment when you are taking it as an indicator, sorry, controller, that means this value can be varied. So you can control this thing, so that there is some function, control function. So that is this up and down arrows. So by clicking on this up and down arrows, you can change these values. But the display of this thing and display of this thing both are same except these two things. That means if you are taking digital indicator, so there is no such kind of up and down symbols. Then it's simply whatever the input, sorry, whatever the output you will get, that can be displayed on that particular box. So that is the main difference. That means in controller you can vary the input, but in indicator you can't vary. That is the final output, whatever it may be, comes from the circuit or comes from the coding section. So that is the final output. So controller you can vary the output by varying the input session. See, there are so many types of controllers are there. So one is numeric controller and Boolean controller. So if I said numeric controller, so you can vary from up to double digit. So precision of 2 digits. So that is the numeric controller. So that means you can vary up to some, for example, 0.00. So these are the 3 digits. You can vary those values. When coming to the Boolean, so you have only one option, either 0 or 1. So these are the controllers. For example, to design a system, example, which you can take it as a that function, what we call CRO. In our CRO, there is a power switch. So to design that power switch, you have only 2 options. One is either switch off or switch on. So in that case, you can use the Boolean function. So in that case, you can use the Boolean controller, and we're coming to the, for example, voltage variation. So we are supposed to vary the voltage in a CRO. So to vary the voltage, so you can vary, you can use the numeric controller, so that you can vary from the 0 to some particular values, some 5 volts or 6 volts. So you are not supposed to use the Boolean controller for the voltage. I mean, voltage display, voltage variation. You can use the numeric. When it comes to the power switch, you can use the Boolean. Yeah, we can see wiring connections. While you are developing the code, so you can find a number of wiring connections. So if you clearly see these block dots with red X, the block dots with the red X, you can find, see, red symbol X here and X here. These all are the block dots. So it means that connection is absolutely at fault. So that connection is wrong. You are not supposed to use that one. So that means you redesign the coding section. So once if you see this dotted, once you see the dotted lines, that means the code is wrong. So you're supposed to eliminate this kind of any wiring connections in our coding section. Yeah, you can see. So for general perspective, to add 2 numbers, I'm taking one digital controller and 2 digital controllers, and one is digital indicator, and this one is node. This node which performs the addition operation. So these 2 can be known as these 2 and this line. These lines are known as wires. You remember that. So these lines are known as wires. So based upon the data you are transferring, based upon the output data is moving to the output port. So this line color and size and width can vary. based on the data type, and these all things, the size of this wire, that means width of the wire, and one more thing, and the color also. These things varies. So what are those? We will see it. So as I said, if you see these kind of broken wires, if you see this kind of broken wires, this is the button which is run button, and this run button will breaks. So this run button will be break like this. So you are not supposed to simulate the code at this moment. So if it is like this, then you will get this attached one. Yeah, this already we discussed about it already. See, front panel items, we can see the controllers and indicators, and the block diagram items. One is loops, case structures, and mathematical descriptions like covariance and variance, and these all kind of things already developed. You're supposed to use it. That's it. Program structures, controllers versus indicators. So controllers, you should to give the values, and indicators to receive the values. Wiring is, it is the connection between the two nodes or two ports. Yeah, you can see these are the wiring standards. This is if the value is scalar, so the wire is orange color, and if it is one dimension array, it is one. If it is single value, so if it is a one dimensional array, then you will get the thick line, and if it's two dimensional array, you will get the double line. This is a floating value, floating point number. If it is integer, you will get the blue color, and if it is Boolean, you will get the green color. You just remember these things. These are the important while developing the code. For string, you will get this kind of things. For single string, you will get small dotted and thick dotted, double dotted. You should able to remember these all wiring connections. So how to run the program? So before going to run the program, you should be clear about it. You should avoid, is there any red cross symbol with a dotted line? So you should eliminate those things, and you can run the code. Now see what kind of equipments we can design. So one is lab oscilloscope, function generator, digital voltmeter, whatever it may be. So in general, in our language, in LabVIEW language, we can say this is a front panel. This front view, it is called as a front panel. We can get exactly this thing. We can get these all things in a LabVIEW. And what is inside, how you are getting this data 9.9999. So these everything will take care of by the block diagram. That means coding section. See what kind of tools we have here. In general, in a MATLAB, you used regularly we used to use one word, toolboxes. Toolboxes means there are a number of functions and its corresponding explanations and documentation regarding the particular domain. If I say about the communication toolbox, in communication toolbox, you will see all modulation functions like QAM, PAM, PPM, and PWM. These all things, and discrete and continuous. These are all kind of functions, and what we call Fourier transform, Fourier series. So these are all kind of functions you can find in a communication toolbox. So that means there is a one set of functions are placed in the MATLAB and related to that particular domain. So that is called toolbox. Similarly, we have toolboxes in LabVIEW also, but it's not called a toolbox. You have to say it as a palette, P-A-L-E-T-T. So palette. So this palette. So what kind of palette? It's tool palette. If you see the tools palette, this is about the control operator, and we will see just regular divide while connecting the wires. You will get this symbol. So this wires features, once this symbol get, then you should be notice that is a wire is going to be connected. And maximum case you will see these two things only, and to add the data in itself only, here it in the code itself only, you can write the in general data somewhere else, wherever you want it, you can write it by double clicking the data. These are not so much important, we can see one by one. So this is about the digital indicators. This is a control palette. By clicking on this one, you will get the n number of controllers, either it is a digital or analog, whatever it may be. And this is about the Boolean controllers. Second one, this is a Boolean controller. You will see in a coding section it is. Functions palette. In a functions palette, you will see. So this is the add numeric operator, and these all arithmetic operators you will find here. And comparison operators, like it's a Boolean comparison functions, either less than, greater than, and less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, some kind of all things. And the signal analysis related all functions are placed in this palette, and mathematical functions you can see in this kind of palettes. By clicking on the front panel, you will get these all things. So to explain the things, I placed it here. Yeah, this is a important thing. While you are clicking on this one, see the same thing. While you are clicking on this one, you will get this small box, small window. In this small window, there are n number of functions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These are all the things you can find out here, and that is the you will get these all things by practicing the LabVIEW. And no need to worry about it to remember this, whether I have to remember these all things. No, there is no scope to remember it. But once you are opening the coding section, the front panel, you just right click on the front panel itself, you will get these all palettes. And the problem is here, you should remember one thing: where is that particular operation? So if I want to do some summation operation, see, this summation operation is available in this palette. That means that's arithmetic palette. Summation operation is there. So if I when I came across to use the summation operation, so I should know that one thing, this operator is present in the arithmetic operations palette, so that I can directly get it, or else I have to search each and everything one by one. So that is that will the wastage of time. So if you see the toolbar in upper section, the topmost, you can find these things. So this is the run box. So this is a run button. So once you can find this same in front panel and block diagram also. So by clicking on this run button, the code will be executed. See whether you have done it right or wrong. This button will tell you. So till the time if your connections are right, then this button will be like this like this only, or else this button will get break. Yeah, these are the things I already said in. Yeah, you just see these are important. And run button. So while it is active, that means once you are clicking on this one, if the program is running, then if the program is running, you can see the run button is like this. And if the program is not compiling, it's unable to compile when the button is broken. So if you find some connections are at wrong, then definitely the button is going to be broke. See how you are going to be create some VIs. VIs means if I already said to develop the calculator, I need some controllers, control terminals A and B, so that I'll given some add function and it will be displayed as a plus B. So if I'm used to additional and subtract, multiplication and division, I'll get the 4 more windows, so that I'll get the indicator. That is the simple and easy way to implement the program. See, one more thing. If you observe clearly in the palette, which pallet it is, arithmetic pallet. When see the die, so that means it will generate some random numbers. By clicking on that particular operator, so you will get the response of that particular function. That means what is the role of that particular function, you will see by clicking on that particular function itself. So the same thing, I'm taking one die, so it will generate some random number. I'm multiplying with the 5 and adding with 1. And if you make it sum 2, so this is a 1 die, and I use one more die and I'm adding this. So by using 2 dice, I'm generating the random number and multiplying by 5 and adding by 1, and I'm summing for 6 times. And finally, I'll get some value. That means this is one kind of operation. That means the probability to found the throwing the 2 dice. This is a general overview of the LabVIEW. Then we will move on to the implementation of communication system. In general, if you are able to implement the normal communication system, that either using the QAM modulation or POM modulation, whatever it may be, so you should know about, before going to implement it, you should clear about the mathematical concepts. One is what is a QAM modulation and what is a POM modulation, and what kind of channel we are using, and which system it is, either it is massive MIMO or MIMO or general CISO system. So to implement the massive MIMO system, first of all, you should know about the MIMO system. So at the same way, to implement the MIMO, you should know about the CISO system. So first of all, we will try to implement the CISO system. That means single input, single output system. If you get the output and if you have enough time, we will see the remaining things. First of all, basic system, we will implement it. But till now, I would like to ask the questions related to the LabVIEW. Yeah, I'll give some 5 minutes. It's not a restricted time, but in meanwhile, if you have any doubts related to this LabVIEW, you just ask me over there. That means you can type. Yeah, someone is asked, can we directly install the LabVIEW units? No, it's not possible. Can we install LabVIEW in Windows? If you have, there are 2 types of LabVIEW softwares are there. One is licensed version. You will get the correct version. Licensed, it won't be work in your laptop, in LabVIEW systems. To install your licensed version, at least your RAM size must be more than 32 GB. So you can install a pirated one, but you won't get the all functions in that case. That is the main issue. Yeah, one question is there, Dr. Ramaya. So I think, if I'm right, it's, Dr. Ramaya is asking question, can we create our own control or indicator buttons? No, there is no such kind of provisions here, sir. So you can, we can create. Generally, the thing is itself, whatever the controller you supposed to create, that there are only two possibilities. One is either you can increase by the number itself, that means it's a decimal number itself, or else by switch itself. So these 2 can be created. That means by using these 2 indicators, you can create your own indicators, but internally it's already there. So that is not our own indicator. So any questions? So one more, Shweta is asking one question, can we use NI package? Of course we can use, but if it is licensed version, then it will work properly. Otherwise, you get a lot of issues. Even if you are using 8 GB RAM, still your system will get hang out. So to make sure that your RAM must be above 32 GB, then it will work properly. Any questions? So can I move to implementation? Okay, fine. Before going to that, just I have one doubt over here. Does anyone have the LabVIEW installed program in your laptops or your systems? I would like to ask a coordinator first of all here. I'm sorry to forget the name here. Kiran Mai. Oh, fine. Dr. Kiran Mai, I would like to ask one question. Is there any lab proficiency for the participants who came there with the LabVIEW software? My question, I repeat the question. Okay, sorry. Fine. So only my system is supposed to follow it, right? Oh, good. Fine. Okay. समझ गया. Right, I'll move on to the so the moment when you open the LabVIEW window, you will get this one. So for that case, you should create the new program. Select the blank project and clicking on the finish, you will get this window. So I'm trying to save this project on my desktop, FBP. No, you take one folder. FBP. In that case, I'm taking it as a experiment 1. So that is saved over there. So now I'm taking the new VI. See, now onwards I'm minimizing this window. We are not going to be used much here. So this is the right. This is the front panel, and this one is a block diagram. See, the moment I clicking here, I'll get these things. If I right click here, I'll get all functions, structures. See, I'll give some brief introduction about the pallets, and see by clicking here, I'm going to be get this numeric in this one, numeric and a numeric controller, numeric indicator, and vertical filler and vertical pointer, and these all are the controllers and indicators. So you can see by clicking on here, this is a numeric. You should remember one thing here by seeing these two up and down arrow. If it is up and down arrow, this is a controller. See beside one, there is no up and down arrow, so that it is a indicator. Up and down arrow is there, so it is a controller. It is an indicator. Similarly, you can see up and down arrows are there. So these all are the indicator controllers. So this is about the controlling, and this is a Boolean. So these all are the Boolean functions. and you can see string controllers, range controllers, arrays, and this is in a waveform graph. This is a waveform graph. So what are the waveforms we have? Now coming to here, structures. In the structures, what we have? For loop, while loop, timed structures, and that is time loop and time sequences, and these all are from the time structures. And numeric, from the numeric you have the all additions and subtractions and multiplications, division. These all are the things we have. So by checking one by one, we will get the things here. Now sometimes I used to show whether you are following it or not. Screen not shared. Me? No, it is shared from my side. I think I'm sharing. So one can tell me whether my window is following or not. At least one. Oh, okay, fine. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, so this is the block diagram section, and this one is the this is a block diagram section. This one is a front panel. So first of all, we would like to implement that first. Which one? Calculator. So whatever the example we discussed in that one. So see, first of all, I want to use some numeric addition operator. I'm taking one more. See, numeric and subtractor. To give this one, I can use controller, numeric controller or numeric indicator also, because it is fixed. If you are fixing the value, you can use the indicator also, or else you still, if you want to change the value, you can use a controller also. See, the moment I placed here, I got this numeric controller. I'm placing here. One more thing, look at once. I'm trying to see, I'm clicking, I'm placing here. See, the moment you will get one more. So this is the two elements. So now I'm trying to add these two elements. So that, see this symbol, I given double click. Now see, this one is the wrong projection. So you are not supposed to left the any connection like that. That's why your run button is broken now. So to eliminate this one, you can use shortcut. It is Control B. If you are pressed, it's a Control B, then the connection is going to be vanish. Now look at here, one more. Here, once the cursor is moving towards the connection, your cursor structure is going to be changes. Look at here. Yeah. If you got this symbol, that means the wire is ready to connect. Now click on that one. So wherever you move, you can leave it, but it's not going to be changed. But you can click somewhere else to up to that standard. Now again, change here. You should click the value. Should click the location. So this is connected to the first line. Now similarly here, so the same numbers, one is addition I want to do and one more is subtraction I want to do. So see, when the cursor is moving towards to the line, that means wire, the cursor symbol is changed. That means it is ready to take the line. Click it. So it is connected. First one. Now look at here, first one. So these two are connected. Now these are the two numbers I can add or subtract. Now, so I can see there is an advantage over here. If you come across here, give the right click. By right click, you can get these all the things. See, if you want to create here either controller or indicator or constant, it will gives you. So I want to indicator. So this is my indicator. So this indicator will give the whatever this. If I written, you can change this value. Some A. By giving the right click, you can some B, so that its result is A plus B. Similarly, right click, create indicator. Some A minus B. So this is my a small program. See whether the implemented program is correct or not. Who will decide? The run button. So the run button is now at normal position, so that I can run it. So if I run the see, these are the corresponding results. First one is A plus B, second one is A minus B. This is the thing you are going to be see in our calculator. So you are providing some values, 1, or you can take whatever, 34 and 34 plus 6. So what it could be the result? 34 plus 6, 40 should be get here, and subtract 28. So the moment when you run, you will get this one. It means 40, 28. So what is happening inside? If you have only the person is viewing the front panel, so he don't know what's happening inside it. So the moment when he's if I given this code to one particular person, now he can add two numbers or subtract two numbers without knowing this code, because itself I have given here A is this one, B is this one. You can change the value, and A plus B here and A minus B here. So this is the front panel system, that it's like a calculator. So to add two numbers and to subtract two numbers, this is one type of code. So once if you are, this is a small program. So coming to the communication system, it varies like a hell it is. So see, after completion of the code, then you can make it a size small. So select it, and there is one symbol, clean up section. If you clean up the section, you will get the code like this. That means this is a shortest, smallest location, smallest place. It will create by this one. Just do the cleanup. The same thing which I have already shown in the presentation. Is it clear? So far, any doubts? How much time we have left? 2:30, so 40 minutes I have, right? 10 and 30, 40 minutes. Just give me a minute, second. 44 I have time. Right, we will start the program. Can we enter value in indicators? Yeah, of course, we can enter it. So I'll show that. Just wait a minute. Good question. Actually, indicator means we can call it as a constant also. Here, if I want to remove this thing, you are not supposed to enter the value in a front panel. If you used the question whoever asked, Dr. Ramaya sir, and if you are using constant over here, see, I'm trying to, you should know what is the value AI given, 34. So just I am deleting this thing. So I can use constant over here. Same thing we can operate. But this value is fixed here. What I have given 34, right? So you can't change this value in front panel. So, but still you will get that value. Same thing. It is constant. If you use direct indicator, and the connection is going to be vanish. Right, we will move to the main requirement. Right. So before going to that, I would like to give some mathematical notation. So this is AWGN channel. Most of you people are well known about this, but as a part of my code, I should give the brief introduction about it. If Y is a received signal, Hx plus N, where H is a multipath effect, that means a multipath channel effect, and X is a transmitted signal, where N is a additive white Gaussian noise. If that is a signal, see, I am taking Y is H is equals to 1. That means there is no multipath effect. So Y equals to X plus N. That means only transmitted data and additive white Gaussian noise. So in this case, what is the SNR? We should calculate the SNR. SNR in dB is equals to 20 log SP by NP. This SP is the signal power and NP is the noise power. From this one, I am trying to find the noise power and its amplitude. So if you rearrange the things, NP is equals to some SP into 10 raised to power minus SNR in dB by 10. This is the noise power. Suppose X of t is my signal. So what is its power? I hope everyone knows. So I can't hear your voice. So generally, if X of t is power and X of t is one signal and its amplitude is X of t, then X square of t is its power. So similar way, so this NP is the power of that particular noise. NP is the power of that particular noise. So what about its amplitude and its square root? So simply we can now say root NP, square root of NP is the amplitude. Square root of NP is the amplitude. What is its power? Simply NP. So this is the formula you should remember. This is for single noise power variable implementation. If the same power is distributed to the two variables, that means one is a complex and real, so this power must be divided into two parts. If this is the power related to the single element or single variable, you can use directly SP into 10 raised to power minus SNR dB by 10. If the same power I'm using to generate the two complex numbers or two individual numbers, so same power is I'm distributing to the two numbers. So in that case, my power is going to be distributed equally. So that means if I use the NP to generate one number, that means one noise number. So I can use directly NP. Or else, if I want to use the same NP, that means noise power, to generate the two random numbers, that means two random noises, then you divide by 2. So the 50% of amount is distributed to some A element and 50% is distributed to B elements. Though this is the AWGN channel, we can use this AWGN channel in implementation of the general communication systems. So you just remember this one. Most probably every communication system will learn about this, but still I want to clear the statement here. Now we will move to the suppose first thing in your MATLAB, actually I need communication with the people to make sure to understand, but unfortunately Please go for CISO memo cases. Yeah, someone's given some questions. Can we enter value? Okay, it's completed. Please go for CISO memo. Yeah, I'll move on to that. Sir, can you explain how the NI-US office are interfaced? Is any additional interface units required to PC having LabVIEW? Yeah, of course. If you are working with the two cases, if you're working in a VLC system, that means visible light communication, and there is a bias T and the external circuits are required. If you are working with the RF systems, only RF range, other than USRPs and its corresponding transmitters and that means antennas, so you no need to require anything. If you are working on a, sir, I'm repeating, Vinod Kumar sir, and Dr. Vinod Kumar sir is asking this question. USRPs you can directly connect for the RF systems. If you are developing the RF systems, you can directly utilize it. If you are working in a millimeter wave, that means wave or VLC systems, there is some external circuits are there. So driver circuits for the LED and the same things for the wave circuits also. So I will move on to the CISO system. Okay, right. So first, in general, in MATLAB, we are going to be generate the random data. So random data means, so I'll go by one fast. If you have doubts, you can type it there. I will check it once. So to generate the data, simply I'm going to be use, where is that? Yeah, this one. So it generate the random data in between the 0 to 1. See, I'm clicking on this one and control space. Control space is to search it and give the visible item and label it random and disconnect it. So it will give the, see, what is the title of this one? Just label it, you will get it. I'm removing it, and the generated number, whatever the generated number is there, so in between the random number it is from the 0 to 1, I should round up to the nearest value, and for that case go to the arrays, this one, round to nearest, this function. Use the round to nearest function. See, creating one indicator. See, the moment I run this one, so what could be the result? This one will generate some random number in between the 0 to 1, and if it is 0 to 0.5, it will treat it as it is 0, or else if it is 0.5 to 1, it will treat it as a 1. So this value you can see it here. I'm running, look at here. Once I run the code, it is 1. Look at this one. This one is 1. Now also 1. Now also 1. 1. 1. Now it is 0. Look at here. So this is a general. That means how many bits? So now, till the time I generated only 1 bit, so I want to repeat this program a number of times. So in this case, I can use the structure. Which structure? For loop. Use the for loop. So here I can use the fixed value also, but how many bits I want to generate, that is my choice. So I can use controller. So the moment I placed it here, so I got this numeric here. So to make understand, I'm typing its name. Number of bits. All right. So here now I'm giving some indicator. So your indicator now it is array. Why? I am going to be get the number of values, not the single value. This function is going to be operate n number of times. What is that n? We will see later. For example, I given 4, and now I am running the code. See, one zero zero one up to 4 values only. I got a thick value. The remaining it is 0. See, if you are able to see 1001, these are the thick colored 1 zeros, and this is a light color. That means these values are not there. Okay, so from here, how many bits I generated? 4 bits are generated. Now see, one more bit I am trying to generate, 5. So I got one more, 0 0 1 0 0. So these are the 5 bits I generated. Now once if I generated n bits, this is a input bit array. This is about the input bit array. Now I am trying to delete it because I don't want this input bit array. Once if I need it, then I can use this input bit array. So once if you get the bits, input bits, so what is the next process? Once if you get the input bits, so what is the next process? So in our communication system, so if you got the input bits, we are going to be, for example, I am going to be generate the 4-com modulation. So by using the 4-com modulation, we will try to implement it. So for the 4-com modulation, so these are the bits, whatever it may be. I used to generate for 16 bits. So it will done it later. And now the result is up to here at this position. Now the 16 bits must be divided into 2 parts. One is 8 bits and another is in 8 bits, so that MSB can be multiplied by the 2 power 0 and LSB can be multiplied by the 2 power 1. So those things should be find out here. So once you have come across this, I need a particular array. That array can divide these entire values to the 2 sections. One is it should be divided first 8 bits, and MSB is one side, LSB is one side. MSB one side, LSB one side. So that things take care of by the arrays. In this array, decimate one dimension array. This thing. So if I provided this value, this array to this one, so it will give the 2 results. So this is the decimate array. After decimation, first value is the MSB, second value, sorry, first value is LSB, and second value is the MSB, 2 inputs. So now in this case, this decimal value, sorry, this binary value, now it is going to be converted into the decimal value. Or else, to make sure understand, I am giving the label. This decimate one dimension array. Yeah, first one. So to convert into the binary to decimal, I am taking some additional factor, and one more, it is multiplication. No. Delete. And this thing must be I'm just removing this label, and one thing must be multiplied with this one, and another thing must be multiplied with the numeric value. What is the numeric value? 2. So that I'll get the, I'll take the red one. Now see, indicator. I use 16 bits. So I divided into two bits separately. Now one is multiplied by 2 and second one is multiplied by 1 and it is added. So I will get the values. My sample space is in between the 0 to 3 only. See, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1, 0, 1, 2. So how many bits we have? 16 bits we have generated, and its corresponding decimal numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So total it is 8. 8 bits we, sorry, 8, what do you call it? Is 8 decimal numbers we have. Its corresponding, you can simply call it as a symbols. So once we come across this one, now I don't want to display this thing. That is for the checking. I'm using. Always I use that one to make you understand. So once if you come across this one, so in our case for 4-QAM modulation, we should give the, so what is the function we can use for the 4-QAM in MATLAB? So in MATLAB, you are going to be used for the QAM mod or QAM DMod. So those are the two functions we can use. But here you should develop that symbol structures here. For that case, I am using array and the numeric indicator, and should change the representation as this format. One, two, three, four. Now, see, I'm trying to write it as a 1 plus 1i. This is the first one. One minus 1i. Second one. Minus 1 plus 1i. Third one. Minus 1 minus 1i. This is the fourth one. So this is the array we are going to be used. So this array, select this one and edit, make selected values as default and copy this thing. Paste it. So Control V, just select Control C and Control V, so that you will get the so this is my symbol space. So you no need of this thing. Now you just use this is a symbol space. So from this symbol space, now I should assign the, here I'll have my decimal values from the 0 to 3. If it is 0, it should be assigned to 1 plus 1i. If it is 1, it should be assigned to 1 minus 1i. It's like a minus 1 plus 1i minus 1 minus 1i. So this is the thing you're supposed to take care of it. Now for that case, I'm using the structure, it is for loop. So see, I want to transmit these symbols based on these decimal values. So can I take, here it is a location is 0, 1, 2, 3. There are 4 locations, 0, 1, 2, 3 locations are there. And I have these values 0, 1, 2, 3 here. If 0 comes from here, it should be gives to 1 plus 1i. If 1 comes to from here, and it should be given to minus 1 minus 1 minus 1i. So in this case, I am going to be use one array called index array. So if you provide index to this one index, and this is the array, you should provide the array to, that means this array can access these all values directly, and this array produces now we will see, we are not going to be used much here, so I'm using this window only. So I'm creating one indicator. See, this is my indicator. For every step, I am trying to show the result, what we are trying to do actually, right? So now in this case, what I'm trying to do, I'm given 16 numbers. How many symbols I should get? If it is 4 com, for every 2 symbols, 2 bits, I should get 1 symbol. So this is the thing I already done. So look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 symbols I got it. That means based on corresponding numbers, this data is modulated to the COM symbols. The data is modulated to the COM symbols. This is about the up to the modulation scheme is completed. Up to here, the modulation scheme is completed. First thing, and give some this case. Now here, modulation is completed. At this moment, we have the all complex symbols. That means our COM modulated data. Suppose if I want to write something over here, double click on this. So you will get some text box. Modulation. This is about the modulation portion is completed. From here onwards, you are going to be give this symbols you are passing through the AWGN channel. What is the AWGN channel I mentioned earlier? So if you are going with this one, this equation. So I should get this amplitude. So I should able to generate the additive white Gaussian as with this much of amplitude if it is a single random number. If you are using the double non-random numbers, then you first half this one. That means 50% of the noise power will move to the one variable and the remaining to the another variable. So that thing we will do it here. One more thing. So to develop this thing, so here, since we are taking it as a complex numbers, that means it is a symbol, it is complex. To generate the random numbers a plus or minus ib, that is a is one number and b is another number. So that to generate these two numbers, we need that noise power and that noise power must be distributed to the 50% to A and 50% to the B. So that what is the input that input to that particular expression? Tell me from here. Suppose signal power is normalized to unity. That means 1. Signal power is normalized to unity. So what is the controller we have to here to get this one? To get the noise amplitude, signal power is, we are going to be already generated the signal, so that we will compromise it, we will normalize those signal to the unity, that so that this SP value is 1. Now 10 raised to the power minus SNR in dB by 10. So here from this equation, SNR in dB is the input. SNR in dB is the input to generate the noise amplitude. So first of all, we are trying to generate the noise power, then we will distribute it. Okay. So how to generate the, see here I am trying to noise power. So for noise power, what we need, we are giving some SNR in dB. SNR in dB means that is a controller. We should use the numeric controller or constant, whatever it may be. I am taking this one. So I am writing here, it is SNR in dB. SNR in dB we are giving. So once if I got the SNR in dB, so what is the next step I supposed to develop? SNR in dB, I got it. So this thing I got it. Next, divide by 10. Divide by 10 means here, suppose I am taking the value, it is some 2. 2 is 2 SNR. So 2 dB SNR we are taking. So this corresponding value divide by 10 I should get. So what is the thing I should get? 10 means divide by 2 divided by create constant 10. This is the first thing we should do. Right? So once you have come across this one, what is the next one? 10 raised to this portion is completed, and 10 raised to power minus SNR. So okay, fine. Now this one, forget about the minus. So we are trying to implement the 10 raised to power something first. So what is the 10 raised to power something? And we can use the where is that? Ten raised power. I forgot it. Boolean string. If you are unable to find, you just use control space, power of 10. Use this one. You got it. So by clicking on this one, you will get, it means up to here, we completed this portion. 10 raised to power something. Okay. Next, what we are trying to do, 10 raised to power minus. You should get the 10 raised to power minus. That means I am doing 1 by x. One by x. This one. now which gives the 10 raised to power minus 1 by this portion. Up to this portion is completed. So now the signal power must be multiplied. So the signal, before going to multiply the signal power, so the signal power must be normalized first of all. So this is one portion, and this is the signal we are getting that set. So to get this one, first of all we should normalize those values. To normalize it, what we are going to do first, these all are the vectors. So the vector means we are going to be take its magnitude and magnitude squares sum, then you will get some particular final value, and you are going to be divided by the original value. That is the thing. So you just take from here absolute value. So once if you got the absolute value, then square it. X square. Where is this x square? This one. Then once if you got the square, use summation button. Summation. Now once if you are summation, and should normalized value. This normalized value must be which one? You take the array size. One more value, it is divided by. So this is the normalized power. That means the SP, we already normalized it. Signal power, take one multiplication factor, give this to this is about the up to this portion. Yeah. So now we are at signal power. Sorry, noise power is completed. So from the noise power, to get its amplitude, we should find its we are developing two numbers, two random numbers, A plus IB format. So those two numbers must be distributed. So this value is going to be divided by 2. Take one division operator. Give some constant 2. So now apply the square root. That means there is square root. Once if you've done across this is the amplitude, or you can call it as a spread. No, this is a original signal, and you should generate a noise signal by using this amplitude. So for that case, we have the control tab. Random noise, Gaussian, sorry, not random, Gaussian. Gaussian white noise. So this is the number which can generate. Yeah, the system is get stuck. Is this or how? Standard deviation, samples, speed. Yeah, you just put it here. This is a standard deviation. We are putting to the standard deviation, and the number of samples are, how many samples we have? array size. This is for A, and use the same thing. Standard deviation and right. So now you got the A and B. From these two values, you should form into the A plus IB format. So in this case, you can use complex this one polar to real imaginary, or where is that real imaginary? This one. So that now we got the A plus IB format. What is this actually? So this is the randomly generated white Gaussian noise. We are generated white Gaussian noise, and this white Gaussian noise will be added to the original signal. So now take one addition operation, and this is the original signal. So with this one, this complete structure is completed with additive white Gaussian noise channel. AWGN channel is completed. So once if it is AWGN channel completed, and original signal and this noise whatever we are giving, so we are combining it here. That means AWGN channel is additive white Gaussian is added here. See, remember this 2 is a incrementing controlling value. So once I want to check whether you are following or not. Yeah, okay. Just I'm checking whether you are following it or not. Is there any disconnections are there? Right. Now this is the our modulated after modulation, this is a transmitted data because it is passing through the AWGN channel. Now this is a received. You can say it as a received data. So from the received data, what you should do? So from received data, first of all, we want to check the data first. So this is my indicator. This is a receive. So I'll move to the control T. So once again, I'll like to use here one indicator so that this will compare it whether we are getting different or equal. We should get the different value because why? We are adding some additive white Gaussian noise. Right. So for the same 16 numbers, I am running the code. See, -1 + 1i, 1 - 1i. These are the transmitted data, and this is the received data. So that means we are added some noise. So if I increased SNR from 5, so obviously the result is going to be changed it. So next our goal is to demodulate this signal as it is originally. So that is the step we should do it. Next, leave about this one, and so from here I want to clean up this system up to here. Right, this is AWGN channel. I'll leave this portion. Now received section it is. I'm deleting this portion I don't want. And this is a received signal. Right. Now from the received data, what I should do, first of all, once if I got it, if you remember the communication system concepts, so very simple receiver design is maximum likelihood estimator. So we should estimate the channel here. That means we should estimate the data by comparing with the original data. See, whatever the structure you used, that means symbol structure, this one. I'm using Control C, here Control V, same thing. That means to compare it, the prompt symbol structure must be with you. Then look at here, see, maximum likelihood estimator will gives you once, for example, I got one symbol from here and I'm comparing with this symbol. I'm getting symbol from here, I'm comparing with these all symbols. How many symbols are there? 4 symbols are there. So among these 4 symbols, one symbol, if I am subtracting from these symbols, whatever this symbol is there, there are 4 symbols are there. I am subtracting this symbol from these 4 symbols and I'm finding what is the minimal value. I'm finding the minimal value. So if I got that minimal value, that means that is its maximally likelihood value. We are not giving the 100% surety. For example, if I transmitted 1 plus 1i here, for suppose, let us assume there is no additive white Gaussian noise. So 1 plus 1i, and there is a 4 set, 1 plus 1i, 1 minus 1i, minus 1 plus 1i, something like that. So if I subtracted 1 plus 1i from these 4 symbols, where can I get the minimum value? Magnitude minimum value. That means whatever the symbol is equal to exist the received symbol, then in that case only 1 plus 1i minus 1 plus 1i. For that case only I'll get the minimal value. So that means wherever I'll get the minimum value, I'm taking its corresponding index. Remember, see, actually I have to explain with the mathematically, so it is not possible, is that much simple here. So one symbol I am taking here and I am subtracting from those 4 symbols, and whatever the resultant symbols, the resultant symbol, minimal value, wherever we get the minimal value, its corresponding index is my received symbol. That is a estimated received symbol. So now look at here what I'm trying to do. You just try to understand what I'm writing it. So this thick line means I'm feeding this every symbol here. So structures, no, loops, for loop I'm using. See, I'm giving this complete value, that means complete array to this for loop, and this for loop will gives me 1 by 1 value, and this 1 by 1 value will subtract, and see what will my result? Totally my result is first set, I'll get the total 4 values, right? I'll get 4 values over here. That means 4 symbols. From those 4 symbols, I'm trying to find its magnitude. So generally, how you are going to be find its magnitude? So the magnitude complex numbers magnitude. So I'll move on to this one and complex. So I'm taking its real value and its magnitude, and from this magnitude, so I should need one array. That array must provide me, by taking its 4 values, it should find its minimum value and also and its corresponding index. So that is called, in array there is minimax array, max min array. So if you place this one, if you give this value, see, you will find 4 outputs. One is maximum value and its maximum index, minimum value and its minimum index. So I need this minimum index, and I'm giving indicator. See where I got this value here. So if these two are equal, then whatever I done, both are same. Output symbols. Now I want to give here create indicator. Input symbols. Yeah, these are the two. So both must be equal. So you look at here, the moment I run the code, I got 0 0 3 3 3 0 0 1 1 2 2. That means whatever we done till the time it is 100% right. Okay. Now, once if we got the decimal value, now what we supposed to do? We should interleave the, that means from decimal to binary. We should find the binary value. So that case, how you are going to get that binary value? We are dividing. Where is that quotient? This one. So this is a quotient. This is a quotient and it's a remainder. So this is quotient and remainder. So for this case, input must be what it is, constant. Oh, sorry. You can take it as a constant, but I am getting this one. But anyway. I'll take from here. The constant is 2. I'm giving 2. So here I need interleaved array, interleaved one dimension array. No, one more thing I need. So because I already done only once, right? Or else I can take this one. Just a minute. And now run the code. See the output. This is the interleaved array. You can call it as output bits. Now, what about the input bits? First of all, we'll move to here. These are the input bits. So I am indicating create indicator input bits. Now look at here. 1 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 1 1. So this is my received data. This is all about the input and output. Is it clear? From my side, almost it is done. To how to create sub-VIs, it is very simple. To make sub-VIs, to select this portion and make it as a edit, create sub-VI. So it will become as a single. And here it is. Generally, we are calling this thing it as a source. Edit, create sub-VI. Now it is source. This one, we are calling it as a modulator. Edit, create sub-VI. So it is a modulator. Now this thing it is a demodulation portion. So these are this is the program. So you can select Control A and now you can use this one. So this is the general AWGN channel implementation. You can save it, but I'll take some time. And almost my time is over, but I want to check it what happened. I'll come one by one. Please go for CISO. Yes, I done. This is completed. 16-bit data, sir. We have used 16-bit data at the input. Yeah, we have at a 16-bit only. Yeah, if you are extended, you will get it. I given. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in between you will find 4 more. So see this one. So you can have all the output bits and input bits. One question is completed. Next one. Sir, is the output is correct? Yeah, you are seen, na? 8-bit I extended. So just that bit array you supposed to extend it. Yeah, still no any doubts? So actually we lack up with the time. I supposed to create its one more thing. I should show that BR graph also, but I don't have that much of time. I have only I'm already exceeding nearly 19 minutes, right? Up to 3:30 only, but I am exceeding the 19 minutes. Sir, it will take too much time to draw the Hanumantrao. Hanumantrao, sir. It will take too much time to explain and draw the graphs. Please share the recording, sir, and the block diagram with the MIMO example. Yeah, MIMO example, it is very simple, sir. Same whatever we have done today, the same concept, only mathematical equation is going to be changed. Concept is same. Implementation in LabVIEW, it's very simple when compared to the other languages. We should know what are the pallets, and sometimes I'm also stuck in somewhere. So in that case, we should know what are the shortcuts, and if you to find the functions. Yeah, one is asking, then can you provide a log diagram in LabVIEW for BR? Yeah, I can mail. Just give me one mail ID, or else I can mail to coordinator, sir. You can get it from there. Hanumantrao, sir, you are asking me block diagram. That means it means that block diagram means you are asking the coding section for the BR. So definitely I'll forward to coordinator, sir. Then you can collect from there.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, still, sir, any doubts? Unfortunately, I can't hear you. So you have to type only. I don't know what's wrong with my system. Either my system fault or your side. Thank you for information. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Kiranmai ma'am, and I would like to thank for giving us such an opportunity to give a lecture on this LabVIEW and based on our communication systems. And if I would have very better, if I feel better, if I get the voice from your side. But anyway, subject is important, and whatever I know, I already provided from my side. If you have any doubts till regarding to that, you can mail me. Can I give mail directly from here? I should confirm from the coordinator, sir. If it is sure, then I can give my mail ID from here. If you could send us the material, we will share with our participants. Yeah, definitely. The coordinator is asking me to share the materials. Okay, sir. Definitely, ma'am. I'll give each and everything from my side. regarding this LabVIEW materials and some additional source files also. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. IDK. Just a minute. Open the channel. Yeah, I'll note down your mail ID. Coordinator sir is given. Yeah, I'll send the things to this mail ID. Some K Baburu something. Okay, fine. I'll mail these things. Okay. Yeah, I'll mail it, sir. Okay, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, sir. Sure, definitely. I'll say, don't worry. I'll give the each and everything related to the LabVIEW and what I taught today, and BER also. Even BER also I'll provide it. Don't worry about it. But it's lack of time, and unfortunately, if you given even 2 hours, 3 hours, we can't cover all the things because we are trying to learn these all concepts from the since 2 years. Only we are working whatever we have done today. We are trying to implement in USRP also, but we are working on VLC communication, VLC systems. Ma'am, most probably, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I didn't heard ma'am's session, last 3 sessions, because I know what we are discussing here itself. And we will try to provide the things whatever you asked me from my side. Maximum inputs I'll give, and it's yeah. Thank you, sir. Can I stop sharing, sir? Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, participants. Actually, we plan to conduct, if it is an offline, a practical MATLAB programming session. But because of this pandemic situation, we go on for LabVIEW. Okay, thank you. Tomorrow the session will start at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.